Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagan Sadrisham Tattvamasya Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Triguణarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Om. Adorations to the Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasishtha, Utpatti Prakarana, section 9. A quintessence of Yoga Vasishtha is being presented following the ancient style. The scripture first begins to focus on the highest wisdom, all that purpose of the scripture. And then gradually it is explained. In the mind of the sages, there is a sense of emergency. A sense of emergency is those who are highly qualified, they shouldn't wait much. They should get quick. So the scripture opens and gives you the highest. But others are not ignored. So now the same is explained in a broad way. So adhikaris are first class first. Then there is a medium class. And then there is third class. It's not a correct mathematics. It goes into countless people come in different degrees. And also I'm joking at this level because you cannot really evaluate. It's not a medical science. Even that is problematic. But you cannot exactly look at a person and say, now this is the first class aspirant. It's all divine hands. But now, first, focusing your understanding at the first class level. Sri Rama asked, O sage, a person who comes to realize, I am all this, doesn't he become terribly a worldly person? Think of, let me give you in a humorous way. I named someone Jagadish. And the person says, what does it mean? You are the Lord of the whole world. That is. Now, will that resolve all my problems? Answer, now all the problems are yours. You are Jagadish. View your problem in the context of broader level. Vasishtha explains, O Rama, if the world were to exist as reality, then realizing I am the world will be a worldly attainment. But the world is not a reality. If you experience your dream and you develop a subtle understanding that I have become, my own consciousness has become all this. If that understanding develops, It implies that the entire dream is going to fade away because the dream is not a reality and we'll wake up. So the idea, I am all this, is not to bring to your mind a great flavor. And now, what a wonderful thing, I've followed the path of self-realization. Simple way to understand. All the world you experience through your mind, senses, intellect, all that world is just like the light of the sun becomes refracted through the veils of clouds. And all the illuminations that you receive on the earth, they are not the sun in its totality. They are illusions emanating from the sun. So if you attain sun realization, you have nothing to do with all this. All this vanishes. But in a figurative statement, every reflected sun in a jar of water is given the understanding you are not confined to that jar. You are in every jar. All reflected suns are you. You have to figure out how to adjust these 2 points. I am all reflected suns. Thereby, all that is implied, all reflections have no reality. Sun alone is. And there is another aspect. This is a statement I made, is a statement of highest level of enlightenment. While you are moving towards enlightenment, this subtle point has to enter your heart, that to deal with any person, you are dealing with this Siya Ram Mai Sab Jag Jani. In every individual, same God is reflecting in the mind of everyone. So, higher level of your advancement enables you to allow your life to float along satsanga, sadachar, sadvyavahar. Satsanga is good association. Sadachar is a type of conduct that allows you to develop divine virtues, humility, absence of anger and hate, etc., etc. Sadvyavahar, how to deal with people. That's a big challenge presented to every individual. Subtle point behind it, adapt, adjust. Never forget that deep down every individual is the same source, same Brahman that is shining through you is shining through others. You are led gradually first to understand universal brotherhood. They are all relatives. Come to another level, selfhood. All are the self. Another level, self alone is. But all these are like telling a person about the heights of the mountain. This world that has 3 stages, three lokas, physical world, practical realities, world created by your feeling and sentiments, and the world created by your intellect and understanding. All the 3 worlds, they mix in your personality in different degrees. And they become the world you are experiencing. Sometimes you are more involved with the practical reality. Sometimes you don't care practically. You involve more with your feelings. Sometimes you become more involved with your intellectual evaluation. And all this can go positively or negatively. But there lies your choice, your sadhana, how to allow your life's movement to flow in a positive direction. And if it flows, you begin to develop shubhecha, aspiration in your heart. Shubhecha leads you to vicharana, the type of thinking that breaks down the illusions, don't hold them, frees you from psychological complexes. All that I'm giving quickly, but it takes its own course, leading you to tanumanasi, when all the negative qualities, they become thinned out, and you are properly aware of your negative. And your project is to destroy them, root them out completely, which implies sublimate them. So there are those steps. In the highest state of enlightenment, you are not working through your mind. Let me explain that point. In Jivan Mukti state, as long as you have physical body, you are using your mind. But along with the mental evaluations of things, there is another aspect within you that considers all experiences as illusion. Very simple way to understand that in a dream, it has occurred to you that it is a dream. This does not stop you from seeing the objects of dream. If you are climbing steps, that doesn't stop you from your movement. You don't sit down, now it's just a dream. You continue. Only big thing has developed. Deep down, you are free. Nothing is real. Not a needle point of the dream world is reality. It is that goal that one has to go after. Day by day, God gives you an illustration in your deep sleep. You move away from the entire world. Not even a needle do you hold on to when you are in deep sleep. And you feel much enriched. To allow your intellect to grasp it. First, your intellect should grasp it. Then your whole life must flow to realize it. First, you must bring food in your platter. Next, you should start chewing it and assimilating it. Brahman is void of all types of distinctions. They're known as bhed. Swagata bhed. Look at a tree. You see different branches in a tree. The tree is there, but there is differences from one branch to another. That was Swagata bhed. Another bhed, you are in a mango grove. One mango tree is different from another mango tree. They belong to the same class. Third one, first one is called Swagat. Second one, Sajatiya, of the same class, same family. Third one, Vijatiya. Vijatiya means you are in a garden or grove where there are mango trees and there are other trees, jackfruit trees and papaya trees or whatsoever. The differences. Brahman is not to be viewed in this category. Brahman is absolute. There is nothing similar to Brahman that you can describe. Oh, Brahman is like that. Or let me realize Brahman, let me realize at least his feet first. There is no such differentiation that exists in the highest. Or let me choose in this world, not Brahman, let me go after Prakriti. Prakriti doesn't exist. Prakriti is Maya, magical power. Simple illustrations are being given. Vasishtha says, look at a golden ornament. He uses a very personal language. He says, I handle a golden ornament. And in spite of my using all my intellect, I could not find anything other than gold. A golden ornament is nothing but gold. But why are we giving this simile? When golden ornament is given to you, there is a history comes along with that ornament. This was the ring that was worn by a great prince at the time of Alexander, or probably Alexander's. Many times it has been lost. Even fish had taken it, and then the fisherman opened it and found it. A volume has been written. The story of the ring. But the reality of the ring is just gold. Similarly, every soul has brought out voluminous story. Consider just this life. Nobody is a great writer. But whatsoever you can write, you cannot exhaust it. Even experiences that happen within a month can create a whole volume. But behind all these experiences, it is a display, an illusory display of consciousness. Consciousness is the reality behind all your experiences. Behind all variations of ornaments of gold, gold is the reality. Variations become real through conditioned mind. The reality remains unaffected. The reality is Satchit Ananda. Mental illusion is name and form. Mix them all up, it's called prapanch, fivefold. This world is fivefold. Be wise, move away from name and form. Do not let your mental projection be negative to you. Because mental projection hides Satchit Ananda. Allow your mental projection to be disciplined and elevated through spiritual study, reflection, satsanga, and so forth. And sometimes a very simple mantra, patience. When I look at the ocean and all those waves, I don't recognize the waves. Vasishtha is saying that is his problem. He sees only the ocean. And when the breeze blows, there are so many types of breeze. But I see nothing but air. just as one sees mirage in a desert. So all the three lokas, they are like mirage. There is nothing but Brahman, the Absolute. And that's your goal. Sri Rama said, "O sage, please give me that type of instruction that will negate, that allow me to negate this visible world which is so real." I understand that when one is able to negate subject and object and their interrelation automatically. If these two are negated, there is no interrelation. This is termed as triad, triputi. When you dream, three factors are defective. The dream subject, that's called seer. The dream world, that's called scene, field for experiencing. And what you experience is called darshan. This is not a spiritual darshan, this is what you experience. The terms are drashta, drishya, and darshan. In every experience, these three become involved. In this world, you are drashta. But as a drashta, you are not absolute drashta. Just like in dream, you are the seer as a dream subject. But dream subject is not absolute reality. You can't pay off your debt in your dream. No matter how close you go to the office of your client or whatever. Similarly, no one is fully aware, who am I? Everyone is trying to make improvement in the self. Even science does not have discovered all the mystery of the world. Science is far away. There are lots and lots to discover. And your experiences, sometimes certain things happen and seem like it hitting on your head. Later we realize it was a soft blanket placed by Divine Mother. And sometimes what seems so gentle, etc. Later we realize that was a soft touch of a beautiful snake. Not beautiful, venomous. How to negate this experience that is divided, that occurs in three aspects: seer, seen, and sight. And Vasishtha points out two things. Vichar, allow your intellect understand. But intellect's function is two aspected. Gaining knowledge of things and creating the data of that knowledge in your mind. Become a big computer. And go on remembering so many things. Another, sattvic intellect. Intellect that draws your attention to what is substantial for you, what is purposeful, that allows you to fulfill the purpose of your life. Purpose of your life, remember, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Four purposes of life. Dharma, ethical value. Artha, material resources. Kama, called vital value, your relations with society, and moksha, liberation. All these have positive movement in every step. But if you begin your movement without having your foundation on dharma, ethical value, then you may gain lots of things in this world. But ultimately you end up a failure. If you don't attain self-realization, which is immortality, what other choice you have? Mortality. O Rama, I'm going to present to you parables, stories that will intensify your insight into the illusory nature of the world. Once misunderstanding is corrected, understanding comes automatically. This illusion of the world process was never born. It is non-existent. That's the purpose of this Utpatti Prakarana. What is real? The absolute reality, Sat, is Drishya Shunya. Drishya, all that is you are viewing, all that you experience through your mind, intellect, senses, all this is called Drishya. All this is void. So all this is brought out by your conditioned mind in the state of ignorance. It's like all the big world you see in your dream. All this is void. When you wake up, nothing of your dream comes to you. Not even a needle point. That's why in Mahabharata again and again, Duryodhana uses the word, I will not give to the Pandavas even a needle point of land. Politicians become confused. Could he be so stupid? At least he should have said, I'll give them some villages. But the point is neither village, etc. The idea is, Duryodhana represented the world of ignorance. And that world cannot be given to one who is attaining enlightenment. So the Brahman is Drishya Shunya, void of this world process. Chinmatra, nothing but pure awareness. Prajnanam Brahma, of four great utterances. The first utterance is called Prajnanam Brahma. Brahman is pure awareness. The second is called Tattvamasi. The Guru gives that instruction. That pure awareness, that's what your reality is. You are aware of your senses, aware of your mind. You are aware of history. You are aware of your problems, your aspirations, your desires, and so many things. But all this awareness are mental projections. Projections can create all reality, but they are projections. The screen remains the only reality behind the projections. So, the instruction is given, Chilmatra, you are pure awareness, not all the reflections of awareness. And when a person hears that, the third level is Anusandhan. You begin to look for that realization by following the mantra, who am I? Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. That's where your mind focuses itself. And when you come to realize, I am Atma Brahman. This Atma, this very self is Brahman. You don't have to go far and wide. You don't have to go on waiting for incarnation after incarnation. Next attribute of Brahman, Anant. Everything has an end. Everything is conditioned by time. Brahman, without beginning, without end. Anadi, Anant. Another attribute, Ajar. Ajar literally means ageless. Brahman doesn't become old. His hair don't turn grey. I'm joking, but ageless. Every object is affected by time. But Brahman is ever the same. Another term uses Shiva. The absolute reality is absolute good. Same like saying Satchit Ananda. Absolute existence, absolute consciousness, absolute joy. And Brahman is Nirdosh. All things that change and go through modification, they are defective. Milk curdles up. Not so with Brahman. Brahman is taintless. Further being described in an interesting way. Brahman doesn't have ears. He has no tongue. He has no nose. So if you don't like becoming Brahman, can you stay with your tongue, ears, nose? Joking, but he's void of his skin. He has no eyes. In other words, for every individual soul, all these have their reality. You hear, touch, smell, taste. But if you have that concept that in the state of enlightenment, you are going to a heaven where all these things will be so terrific. You hear, and it will be the best melody. See, and it will be amazing. And taste, and it will go on, endless taste. The whole Kshir Sagar will be there. And since you are in heaven, you don't have to be afraid of calories. The idea that we are giving seems like a kindergarten type, but it's profound. The message behind it, no matter how advanced your mind may be, skilled and all that, never view Brahman as in the realm of your mind, no matter whatever great idea, Brahman, that whatever you are using through your head is a concept. It is not Brahman. However, it can be effective for you to attain Brahman. But otherwise, it will be simply a palabra. It is that Brahman that has brought about this entire creation through ignorance. Brahman, through Prakriti, brings about the entire creation in 3 stages. Sattva predominating Prakriti called Maya. Brahman, through sattva predominating Prakriti, plays the role of Ishvara, God. God, not absolute, but God the creator, known as Brahma, God the sustainer, known as Vishnu, God the destroyer, known as Shiva. All these are act of Maya. There is nothing to create, nothing to sustain. This non-dual reality. Now the same Brahman, through Rajas predominating Prakriti, called Avidya, plays the role of countless souls evolving through the world of matter, jivas. It's like the same sun becomes countless reflected suns, as if struggling in so many pots. But while all this is described, Brahman alone is, because all this is in the realm through Maya, through magic. Third type of magic, Brahman through tamas predominating Prakriti, takes up the role of all the elements, subtle elements. And those subtle elements go through a permutation, combination type of blending. An entire creation, your mind, your intellect, your ego, your subtle body, your physical body, your pranas, all have proceeded from those subtle elements, emanating from Brahman. So think of the broad and vast expression of Brahman through his magical power, Prakriti. But no matter how vast, come to the grip of understanding, it is a magical power. In order to experience the world, you have to be deluded by the magic. As long as you are under the influence of magic, the world is, you go on enjoying it. When you are no longer deluded, the world doesn't exist. This is brought out in a simple parable. There was a great magician. He gained a tremendous fame. He could do amazing things by his magic. And someone living at a distance in another state heard the news, and he made a trip to witness what this magician is going to do. From a distance, as he comes closer to the magician, from a distance he hears a great clamor. Everyone is picking a mango and eating it and describing its taste and throwing the mango, the unchewable stuff, seed, and all are jumping up and down. And from a distance the man sees there's no such thing. They're simply putting their hands up and down, jumping. Because they are all enchanted by the magic. In a magical show, the man has controlled their minds. And in a void, there's nothing at all. They ask them, look, here's the mango seed. Looks at them, creates a magical influence. Oh yes, mango. Now look right before you. The tree is going to grow. They all become ready. And the tree grows. And the mango fruits have come. Now they're ripened. eat. And they are all dancing and eating. But the man who is not in that magical influence sees all. That's a very artistic way of giving you a parable. But that's exactly what the world is. Whether you like it or not, you may get upset. But that's exactly what the world is. Behind this world is immense reality. Can't exist even for one moment without Satchidananda. That reality that expresses through sun, moon, stars, etc. That reality is your source. Your I am has to come to that level. Don't stop it. Don't make your heart limited. The test for your heart comes more effective when you deal with people who are annoying in their personality. When you can handle that without developing a negative, curse-like mind, let me see to the person who gets ruined, without developing that type of mentation, but with a relaxed mind. If that type of attitude develops in your heart, you save your heart from amazing calamity. Otherwise, the world is boundlessly generous to pour calamity after calamity. You have to figure that out. I'm talking about the news and how they go on breaking, and human mind is already under big stress. Every personality, even good people, your own relatives, near and dear ones, they suddenly come under the grip of misunderstanding. They live together, they can't talk to each other, can't even look into each other. But passage of time, you regret. Why to waste your mental energy? Be the best. Have good attitude and hold on to it. For others, pray, sarve bhavantu sukhina. And if perchance they begin to change by your prayer, be happy. That's a simple formula for a profound attainment in life. Otherwise, the world will not give you resolution. You can resolve so many problems in one place, go to another place, 1,000 problems. There is no group, there is no ashram, there is no place where you can be completely free of problems. So as long as ignorance is there, it's all this vast world and you're jumping from one body to another continues without beginning, without end. Break this illusion. There's nothing but Brahman, the non-dual absolute self. And this point is elaborated further. And we will conclude at this stage. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.